We're shuffling veggies and scoring points.
Here's 5 reasons why you might like point salad.
Hi, I'm Julian and this is Libby and we are BoxedMeeples. You found us right here on YouTube, but we're also on Instagram and Twitter.
We've been sent point salad by AEG, but how do you play the game?
Point salad is a card game for up to 6 people. In the box are 108 double-sided cards. One side is a veggie side that shows one of 6 different types of vegetables. On the other side are point scoring conditions. Sort the cards into different piles of vegetables and draw, or remove, a number of each based on the number of players. In a 2-player game, for example, you draw 6 of each vegetable, so 36 cards in total. Shuffle these cards and divide them into 3 even piles, point condition side up. Then flip 2 cards from each pile to form the veggie market. On your turn, you can draw either 1 card from the point stacks or 2 cards from the veggie market. Additionally, you can flip 1 point card, either one you've just drawn or one you've picked up in a previous round. You can never flip a veggie card to its point side though. After you've picked your cards, refill the spaces left in the veggie market by taking cards from the point stacks above them and flipping them to their veggie side. When all the cards have been drafted, the game's over and you score your collected cards. Each point card has requirements you must meet to get their points. In this example, the player will get 8 points for each combination of tomato, lettuce and carrot, so 16 points. 5 points for each pairs of carrot, so 10 points. 3 points for each carrot, but -2 for each onion, making a total gain of 9 points. 10 points for having the most onions of all the players. And 5 points for each 3 veggie types they've drawn. 15 points. This has made a total of 60 points for this player. If that's more than their opponents, then they are the winner.
So point salad is a simple game, but what are 5 reasons why you might be interested in playing this one? I think for us the first thing is how simple and easy it is to get to the table and play with anyone. Often in Julian's overviews he's only just giving sort of a feeling of the game, whereas in this one we've managed to give you the entire rules.
You can explain it in like 2 minutes. Literally that's everything you would need to know to get down and play this game. And I think you're going to be hard pushed to find someone who can't play along after hearing that very simple sort of 2-minute explanation. It's so accessible.
And such a theme that's, you know, universal. It's not going to put anyone on or off particularly. The kind of game that we can play with young ones and much older ones in the family as well, whether they be gamers or not.
I mean, who doesn't want to shuffle some veg around the table? So for a game that's so simple to play, I think you'd be wrong to dismiss it as not being deep and thoughtful. There's a lot of stuff that goes underneath the surface here that really will appeal to more hardened gamers.
The thing is, each time you're making that choice as to whether to take the scoring card or whether to take one of the vegetables, you're having to reevaluate your hand each and every time, and particularly as it gets to the end of the game where you can't necessarily pick up the things you want, or you realise that what you really need is all gone, and you kind of have to sort of switch tactics sometimes and change things up and end up flipping scoring cards that you were sure at the beginning of the game were going to be bagsying you all the points, and also remembering that as you pick up new ones they're affecting the ones that are already there. You are always thinking about what's the card that my opponent's picked up. Has he picked that up because he knew that it would give me more points, or do they actually need that? So you are looking at what your opponent's got, you are looking at what you've got, and you are reevaluating your hand each time.
It's really a case of memorising what's been, what's going to come. You always know how many of each vegetable there's going to be each time. So often you can see, oh, there's a couple of lettuce there. I don't need those, but maybe because no lettuce have come out, that could be a big score bounty at the end of the game. And yeah, taking 2 vegetable cards means you're going to eliminate 2 scoring opportunities and being there. So if they're the ones you know your opponent's going to want, sometimes it's worth taking some vegetables that aren't going to really affect your score that much, just to stop them getting a card that's going to give them 10 points at the end of the game. It's those decisions.
You did that to me.
It's those decisions that get really exciting and make you feel like, I don't mind taking this little hit if it's going to affect everyone else and they're going to be a little bit annoyed at me for nabbing the lettuce.
We've said previously that it's quite an accessible game to both children, to older ones, to non-gamers. Partly that is because of the simple layout and the clarity of the cards on the table. It's quite obvious what every one of them means. You can tell a vegetable apart from their colour and from the drawings on there, so that's quite clear and obvious. And also the scoring, it's not sort of strange iconography or anything that might be unusual to people that don't play a lot of games. Everything's very clear on the card. It's obvious what you're going to get points for, what's minus points, and whether it's going to be beneficial to you or not. And I think that is really to the game's advantage.
Yeah, you're not going to be diving into the rulebook to have to work out what does that funny symbol mean. And when you come to scoring at the end, I think for a game like this, you don't want to be having to do complicated maths as well as trying to interpret a complicated card. It's really a case of just looking across and knowing that means exactly that. And if someone fails, they can't even claim, well, I didn't know that's what that card meant, because it's just so clear and concise. Now, unlike similar card games you can get, Point Salad really isn't luck based. There is elements of luck in it. Are the cards going to come up you want? But I find the better players tend to be the ones that win.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think you get tuned into how to combine your points well together and what things to pick up, and you become, the more you play, you become more and more aware of how the cards that are there are going to affect the other players at the table, and then you can obviously play sometimes to your advantage and sometimes to their disadvantage in order to block something that, you know, the last game we played, you did have a lot of lettuce, and there were some cards which would have been to your advantage for that. So to remove some of that option away when you already are scoring a lot for the lettuce means that it was to my benefit to do that rather than to get extra points for me specifically.
You really learn those kind of techniques and those tactics from just having played it a few times. That's not to say beginners can't have a lucky turn of hand and get the ones they need, that have a perfect synergy of what they already have, but we found more often than not the veggie experts are the ones who come up trumps.
So we think that Point Salad is a perfect filler style game. It is the kind of game that we can play with your children who like games similar. They enjoy Go Nuts for Donuts and things like that, where they're picking cards and scoring. So this is another varied option for that, in which they feel at home with those sorts of mechanisms and things. But also if you're having a sort of a dinner party, and you can pull them out if you're meeting with your games group and you've got 20 minutes to the end of the gaming night, having played some other things, or you want to play something quickly because there's a long setup to the next game that someone's doing, and you can all play while someone else is doing all the hard work. It's that kind of game. It's the kind of game you can take on a picnic, you can take on holiday. It's a small box, it's just the cards. You can lay it out quite easily and it can go anywhere, and play with anyone. So it's a real good all-rounder kind of classic style. But in our opinion, we would also classify it as a filler game. Yeah,
I think it's going to quickly become a game that's in our rotation. Everyone's going to know it, everyone's going to be familiar with it, and it's just a case of, we've got 15 minutes. Do you fancy a quick game of Point Salad? Who's going to say no to that? So that was 5 reasons why we think you might like Point Salad from AEG. Thanks again to AEG for sending it to us.
Yes, it's definitely one that we're pleased to have on our shelves in our collection. If you've enjoyed hearing about Point Salad, have you played it? Would you like it? We'd love to hear from you in the comments. Any other game suggestions that you have for us, based on the fact that we enjoyed this one. If you're not already subscribed to our channel, we'd love to have you follow us along and ring that notification bell so you can get alerts of whenever we have videos up. We often do ones like these 5 reasons to like, but also a varied selection of other board game based information for you.
And yeah, do let us know if you'll be serving up this particular Point Salad on your table anytime soon.